Um, the final topic we kind of wanted to discuss was a games journalism thing, game exclusivity, and kind of what it does to consumers and to the providers as well, like the game developers. Because I recently, and I'll fill you all in quickly, because I think everyone kind of needs a bit of background information. I recently bought Rise of the Tomb Raider for PS4. That has been a year in waiting.
Yeah.
Because somehow, despite the fact that Tomb Raider has always been a PlayStation property from like the very first game,
Yeah.
and has gone through about 7 or 8 games on PlayStation, Microsoft, when Rise of the Tomb Raider was slated for release, and was a sequel to a game that came out on PS4 as well,
Yeah.
Microsoft somehow secured themselves exclusivity rights for a year. So it was a timed exclusive on Xbox One, I guess.
Yeah.
And for that 1 year, I just like sweated and waited because I didn't want to spoil the game for myself. I didn't want to watch gameplay of it because I wanted to experience it for myself.
Yeah.
And it pissed me off greatly over that whole year because I had to know that a different console that I couldn't afford to buy had a game on it that I wanted to play that should have been on my console to begin with.
Yeah.
But then recently, like within the past couple of weeks, Rise of the Tomb Raider was released on PS4. And I guess the developer, whose name escapes me, it might be Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah, I think it is.
But no, never mind, it's Square Enix. Oh yeah, it's Crystal Dynamics, and then Square Enix is the publisher.
Yeah.
They released it on PS4, and they included an art book that actually comes with the box of the game. So it's a special edition box, and it comes with an art book of professional concept art and also fan art that's been done.
Right.
So you get that in the actual box. Then on the disc, you get all of the DLC that was released on Xbox One for free. You get all of the extra skins for free. You get another extra game type. You get 2 extra game types.
Mm-hmm.
So like everything that was released all together for Xbox One users probably amounted to £70 or £80 at least.
Yeah.
Whereas I got it all on disc for like 45 quid. So yeah, I don't know what I feel about game exclusives, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Because it pissed me off at the time that I didn't get it, but now that as that has been released on PS4, I've benefited from it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what your opinions of it are.
Well, see, it's like it's an odd example because, and in fact, I think it's probably one of the only examples that you can use for that, because we have always been PlayStation gamers. We've always played on PlayStation, and that's not. Yeah. You know, you can call us fanboys or whatever. We don't really give a fuck. They have better hardware on the whole, I think, for me anyway.
I just prefer using it. I prefer the games library. I prefer everything about it.
Exactly. And the game library, as you say, there is so much better than the Xbox. Okay, if you can look from year to year, the list of exclusives on the PlayStation are 10 times better than the ones on Xbox, and 10 times in number more than Xbox. Yeah. And you know, we actually got a taste of our own medicine in a way, because we had that Tomb Raider game that is usually ours, and it's a great exclusive that was then given to Microsoft. We, for once, had to sit back and be like, man, we can't play this game for a year. They have it over there on Xbox. And I think that game exclusivity is great for if you're a PlayStation gamer, because it's like, yeah, we get all these games, it's great, you guys don't get them, and that's fine, but like, it's a shame that you don't get them. But anyway, like, sorry, I will like finish in a minute, but like,
no, carry on.
But if I was an Xbox gamer, I would feel completely different about exclusivity, because I'd be like, man, this is terrible. Why don't I get these games that look really great? Why don't I get to ever play Uncharted? And I think as an industry as a whole, games just have to stop being exclusive, because it's like, you know, The Last of Us, Uncharted, Journey. I'm not sure if Journey is a PlayStation exclusive. Something tells me it is. Yeah. And it's like those 3 games are like 3 of the best of all time, in my opinion. Those changed my opinion of games forever, and they will always stick out in my mind as 3 games that are so monumentally good. But Xbox gamers will never have the chance to play that unless they move over.
Yeah, but I've definitely felt the sting of exclusivity on the PlayStation side as well. Because as well as that example of Tomb Raider, which was thankfully a timed exclusive, but there have been times, like, for example, Forza, all the Forza games, I would say are a much better car like driving franchise than we have on
Gran Turismo is terrible.
Hate Gran Turismo. Drive Club vanished into like nothingness. I can't even think. Like Burnout games died out on PS2,
which is a shame.
Like, there aren't any good driving games anymore. And Forza, I've always really liked the look of, and they have that kind of, some of it is serious, but some of it is fun. Like in, I think Forza 3, they had a car football thing kind of similar to Rocket League, but with less jumping.
Yeah.
And same thing with Left 4 Dead. I played Left 4 Dead on someone else's Xbox, and those games were really fun, and they would have made a really good like couch co-op experience, I think. But yeah, I don't understand really what developers gain from exclusivity besides money. And I guess in the end, that is what it boils down to. Everyone making games, they have a company, and they want to try and keep that company as financially stable as possible.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine why you would want to cut yourself off from such a like massive potential audience.
Yeah.
Because it goes both ways, because so many people are Xbox users and so many people are PlayStation users. Like, millions. And I don't understand why you would cut yourself off from a chunk of that. Like, I want to know, do the like exclusivity deals provide that much income for the developmental team that they're able to avoid losing money from not selling to everyone?
Yeah.
I don't understand why you would want to lose so much of an audience, because at the end of the day, like, making video games is like an art form. It's a medium, and you want to kind of get that medium out to as many people as possible.
Yep.
And they're not, because they're deliberately cutting themselves off from it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just always rattles against me both ways.
It's a weird thing. It's like, again, we're not, we're not developers. We probably won't ever be. We don't really have a lot of experience. But like, as far as I know, what happens is a studio will get approached by Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo, and they'll say, yeah, we want to strike a deal so that we have the access to this game. And they'll offer them sponsorship through, they'll get money, they get better development staff to develop for that console, probably. They'll get sort of like, I don't know, probably free dental or some shit. And
health insurance.
Yeah, and that sort of thing. And they'll throw that in there to strike the deal. They'll say, yeah, that's fine, and that'll be that. And then obviously there's first party studios and stuff, which again makes sense. But third party studios that end up being exclusives make no sense to me. Because it's like, as you say, why would you cut yourself off? Why would you stop yourself from getting more money, getting more exposure, all that sort of thing?
Yeah, and it occurs to me, I just thought another example. Media Molecule, who developed the Little Big Planet games.
Yeah.
All of the servers in Japan got shut down, and this was a couple of months ago. So all of the online servers in Japan, and Japan, by the way, is where most of their like top tier content was coming from. Like the people creating levels in Japan made crazy complicated stuff. Like I'm pretty sure in the very first game, there was a working piano, and if you like flew up above where the piano was, there was so much logic behind it, like so many moving parts and blocks and things that like even the game developer probably didn't think was going to be possible when the game came out.
Yeah.
And that was based on, I think, a Japanese person who had bought the game and created that level for themselves.
Yeah.
And so much of the good content comes from Japan, but all of the servers there have been shut down. And I can't help but wonder if Little Big Planet hadn't been a PlayStation exclusive, would that have been different? Because surely they would have been bringing in more money, because they're a first-party Sony developer as far as I'm aware. But would they have been taking in more money if people had just been buying their game? Because they generated like millions of levels just off the PlayStation fan base alone, so I can't imagine it would have been a justifiable decision if they'd essentially doubled that number.
Yeah.
So I do have to wonder if the benefits don't outweigh.
There's so many mysteries to do with exclusivity and how it happens and why it's happened and stuff. Like, No Man's Sky is one that baffles me, right? Because so Holo Games was a third-party indie developer. Then Sony recognized the game and how much attention it was getting, and they were like, yeah, we want to showcase this, we'll support you, blah, blah, blah. They started doing that. Then they had this huge flood in their studio mid-development, and caused a delay. It was really controversial to people who wanted the game, and Sony didn't bail them out. Microsoft approached them and said, "Yeah, look, we'll recover all your shit. We'll pay for all the repairs and everything." And that is definitely true. Microsoft were the ones who bailed them out of that mess. No Man's Sky would not have been finished when it was finished and wouldn't have got the exposure if it was not for Microsoft, right? But
if you want to call that game finished. Oh
yeah, exactly. But yet Sony still got the exclusive rights, and it's still it's not that's never coming out on Xbox. Never.
No,
they're not putting money out now.
They may produce another copy of that game.
No.
Like, honestly, they may be not producing that game.
Yeah. But like,
yeah,
it just baffles me. It's such a weird thing.
Yeah, I feel like the benefits of like going exclusive with one company, one like console, the benefits might outweigh, like the benefits of going without that might outweigh the detriment to your company. Like, I think you would make a lot of money and create a lot more fans for your property if you had double the fan base.
Yeah.
But I guess we probably will never know, because there will always be that competition between Sony and Microsoft, and to a lesser degree Nintendo, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, now with the Switch coming out and all the third-party support there, it's going to be interesting to see what happens now.
Yeah.
Because, well, yeah, God help us now.
That was another one. I just remembered. Fucking Bayonetta.
Oh, God.
Because for some shambolic reason, the first game came out on PS3, and then the second game came out on Wii U.
Yeah.
And I can think of no excuse for that whatsoever. But yeah, sorry, I just had to tack that on. Again.
I cannot wait to see, like, in 2 years' time, Mario on, like, PS4 and, like, Uncharted 5 on Nintendo Switch.
And, like, Microsoft are just leaning back with, like, The Last of Us in their back pocket. Like, no one knows what's going on. Naughty Dog is split in half. Ubisoft is actually becoming, like, Abstergo. No one knows what's happening.
Sonic's, like, running around being like, I don't have an owner anymore.
Not that he really does anyway. He's such a plague at this point.
No, it's just put him down.
But yeah, I think that rounds off our thoughts on that.
I think that just about does it.